Grandmother's Kitchen. I got a good one for you today. I got a surprise. My granddaughter, Dorothy, and she's here today. She's on spring break. She goes to culinary school, so she's going to teach me how to do a, what are we going to do?
Vegan shepherd's pie.
A vegan shepherd's pie. All right? Something different for me, okay? So I'm going to turn it over to her and let her tell you what we're going to do.
Okay, so for the vegan shepherd's pie, we're going to have lentils, roasted vegetables, and topped with a vegan mashed potato. So it's going to have soy milk and vegan butter. So we're going to roast off these vegetables first. We have multiple color bell peppers, celery, onion, carrots, and garlic. And we're going to roast this off, and then towards the end we'll add in the garlic. But for us to roast it, we're going to add the olive oil to it.
How much?
That's about 3 tablespoons of olive oil. And you just want, basically enough to coat all of the vegetables for when they go in. And then you want to add about a tablespoon of salt to them. So that way they have their flavor. And once they go in the oven, we're just going to let them roast on a baking sheet until they get a nice caramelization on them. And then we'll be back to make the mixture that goes with this, the lentils and the vegetables. Okay, and so you know how to put after you rub the veggies down with your salt and extra virgin olive oil, you're just going to spread them out over the whole pan so that way each veggie gets good color on them and good caramelization. You want each of them you want to evenly have that out. You don't want it to be anyone getting left out. And I mean, you can always use a spoon or a rubber spatula to spread and mix and everything, but Grandma always taught me use your hands and rub your food like you rub your man. So just be generous and rub it down. Okay, and so now these are ready to go into the oven, and we will be back to show you how they look before we put them with the lentils.
Welcome back. And I call it, her name is Dorothy, but her last name is Davis, so I call her Miss D. So Miss D, I've called her Miss D all her life. You know, I called her Miss D ever since she was born. And when I had the outreach, we hired a lady, and her name was start with a D, and it was hard to pronounce. And Miss D was 14 years old. And I named the lady Miss D that was working for me at the outreach. And when Miss D heard that I was calling her Miss D had a fit. What, Grandmama? Would you give somebody my name? I said, girl, 14 years, you never said you appreciated me calling you Miss D. You never said you loved it. You never said anything. How did I know you wanted to be exclusive? I was sharing your name with her because she was such a wonderful worker, and she brought a lot to the outreach. And I just felt compassion, and I felt, because she was so compassionate, she was so kind, and I wanted to name her somebody special. And the only person I thought that was really, really special to me was Miss D. Because when she was little, she thought her, ever since she was old enough to talk, she thought her grandmother was the greatest thing in the world. And so I used to tell her mother that, and mother said, you are the greatest in the world to me too. Her mother used to say, but Miss D had a fit. And I said, Miss D, I never knew you thought that way about your name. You're going to wait 14 years to tell me? And so I would not change the lady's name, Miss D, her name. I kept calling her Miss D, but Miss D was hot as fish grease. She was angry about that. So I'm going to turn it over to Miss D.
Okay, so we caramelized the vegetables. Well, we roasted the vegetables off until they got their caramelized color. So if you can see, each veggie has color on them. The beautiful color on the vegetable, that is what everyone should look like. So that was just tossing the olive oil and letting it bake. So that was our version of roasting it. And then we mixed it in with these lentils, and I put seasoning. I seasoned the mixture. We have pepper, freshly ground pepper, kosher salt, fresh basil in here, ground cumin, garlic salt, and paprika. So that was just some good spices that I like on veggies. And basically this is, if you guys, I believe Grandma has showed it on her show, we make a shepherd's pie with ground beef and vegetables. And since this is vegan, what we're going to use instead of the ground beef was the lentils. So that's why the mixture is like this. It's the lentils are replacing the ground beef, and instead of regular veggies, we're having roasted veggies. And so that means we have to put a lot of seasoning in here to make sure that it has flavor as if it was just as good as meat. So we're going to transfer it into this pot, and we're going to top it with the vegan mashed potatoes, and my grandma will be back to show you what those look like. Okay, so now we've transferred it into the pan, and we're just going to put the vegan potatoes right on top and cover with this lid, and we're going to let it bake for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll be back to show you what it looks like.
Welcome back. We have the finished product here. This is the vegan. What is it? Shepherd's pie. Okay. All right. So we cooked it in the oven for 30 minutes because all of the food the mashed potatoes was already cooked, the vegetables was already cooked, and we used vegan butter, and we used soy milk. Okay. And now I put the red. My granddaughter Dorothy didn't tell me to put the paprika on it, but I wanted a little color to it, so I put it a little, because you know I'm always experimenting. So I put a little paprika on it because it can't hurt to make it some color. Okay. And remember, we cooked it in the oven for 30 minutes, and we cooked it with the top on. And you know I'm a stickler for cooking with the top on, because I want all the juices and all the flavor to stay inside of the container so that it can get inside the food, and it makes it taste much better. Okay, so let's have a taste test. Good. It's seasoned very good. It's very good. And see, instead of meat, we use the vegetables. It tastes very good. Seasoned real good. Try it and let me know how you like it. And happy eating to you. See you next time.